remind everyone to just do your best to minimize any interactions you have with people outside your family system. We are still offering a lot over Zoom, from evening story time at 7 p.m. for families to the Loop Dinner Church online. Please check out our website, bvuuf.org, for more information, or make sure you're getting the connections weekly. I am also holding office hours this week. Those are also posted on the website. That's just when I will have my Zoom meeting open and available. My Zoom room, which is the same one as this one here, that will be open and anyone can come and just chat. And if you have something specific you want to talk to me about, I will navigate who's in the Zoom room and who's not. We're also having coronavirus team meetings every Tuesday morning to assess the impact on our congregation and make sure all of us stays safe. So keep an eye out for a regular Wednesday email from me. And now please join me for our chalice lighting words. I will say them in short chunks and you can repeat them at home if you like. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, for the light of truth, and for the energy of action.
So now we have a hymn coming up. The composer of this hymn, Amanda Eudice Kessler, who spent 30 years as a UU church member, lay preacher, and lay leader, is currently a member of a progressive and social justice-focused UCC, I believe that's United Church of Christ congregation. There she serves informally as composer in residence. Amanda has a sociology doctorate and a seminary degree. Pardon me while my computer freezes up for a moment. Thank you. Describing herself, Amanda, as an out and proud queer androgynous bisexual woman, Amanda is currently a mid-level administrator at Colorado College in Colorado Springs. She's written over 50 songs and hymns for Unitarian Universalists and progressive Christians. Her social justice music is freely available at queersacredmusic.com. She says she wrote this hymn, Mother Earth, Beloved Garden, for her wife Phoebe, who identifies as a Wiccan in the reclaiming tradition. Excuse me again as my computer is dropping me out of here. Amanda says she wrote this hymn, Mother Earth, Beloved Garden, for her wife Phoebe, who identifies as a Wiccan in a reclaiming tradition. Not being a Wiccan personally, Amanda apologized for calling the directions in the wrong order in this hymn. So now here are Ted and Emily to play and sing, and I invite you to sing along at home.
Mother Earth, beloved garden, living treasure to share the passion of the sun. In our hearts, your warmth revives us, cooks our food and heats our homes. Flaming candle blood within us, blazing desert will to grow. With the wand directing power south, we ask you be here now. Sister water ever flowing, ocean, river, pond and rain, drink we now and quench our thirsting, cleanse us, we begin again. Mist and ice, a host of changes, all that courage will allow. With the cup, the holy chalice west, we ask you be here now. Lover, spirit, intuition, in the center of our souls. In your love we find relation, all connected we are whole. Timeless mystery, quiet conscience, deepest values voice inside. With a drum and with a cauldron, this we ask you, be our guide.
Take a couple of deep breaths to more fully arrive here as we enter into our time of sacred sharing. With your breath, you can remind yourself of your place right here, right now, among us and in the universe. Each week we take time in our service for sharing any joys and concerns. It's a time that brings us together so we can feel the connection. So if you have anything in your heart today that you would like to share with this community and invite their loving response in prayer or action, Deborah will now remind us how to do that. When you do share, please tell us your name and where you live, and then briefly let us know what is in your heart today. And then I will place a stone in our sacred waters on your behalf. Beloveds, take another deep breath with me if you would. And allow yourself to take in all those beautiful joys and also the concerns that surround us in these times. Here in the midst of these most challenging times that any of us have ever lived through, our lives continue with the small beauty of ordinary days, of baking cakes and having connection with our teachers in new ways, as well as with the challenges of life, the sicknesses, the losses that are still with us, even as we try and figure out how to live away with this physical isolation we are required to do. May we experience all the ways that we physically distance ourselves as a gift to others. May we recognize that we are not alone even when we need to be distant. May we learn new ways to reach out, new ways to show that we love one another, new ways of being together. And may these gifts that we are culling during this time not be forgotten when we are then again able to join in the same location together as one community. In these days, let us send our concerns to those of us with health issues, certainly with any of us who have the coronavirus. May their fears be allayed. May they receive the treatment that they need. For loved ones also on the front lines of this virus, for loved ones who live in fear with mental health anguish and concerns, for all the psychotherapists out there and all the caregivers, may we send our love to them. And may we celebrate with one another in all the ways that we are learning to celebrate. May we celebrate birthdays. May we celebrate the milestones that are arriving in this time of life. And may we know that we are not alone, even in this time when we are asked to stay physically distant from one another. May this be our promise and our prayer today and always.
Generosity is a spiritual practice of this congregation. We recognize our own abundance and develop generosity by giving half of our plate to organizations that help us further our values in the world. It is my honor to introduce this week's half plate for Right Relationship Boulder. They are Native and non-Native people working with local governments and organizations to help all Boulder Valley area residents learn about Native peoples who have lived here historically and those who live here today. Their goal is to promote and practice right relationship among Native and non-Native people. Please give generously as the plate passes. For the work of the fellowship and of right relationship, Boulder, we accept these offerings with gratitude. These gifts will go a long way to further their goal and ours to promote and practice right relationship between all people.
And now we sing, from you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
We are part of the earth, and it is part of us. These words attributed to Chief Seattle echo the wisdom of many indigenous cultures worldwide. Many have always known the connection, the non-separation of humans, earth, and all other living entities, sometimes even including rocks and water and land and air. The Unitarian Universalist use of the word interconnected points toward this understanding. Traditional Buddhist wisdom also refers to this same knowledge of non-separation. It is believed that a degree of wisdom is gained when one knows, through experiential insight, the truth of what is called anicca, often translated as impermanence or insubstantiality. Naming this characteristic of our reality interbeing, Buddhist monk and teacher Thich Nhat Hanh describes something a step beyond our Unitarian Universalist concept of interconnectedness. Here are his words. If you are a poet, you will see clearly that there is a cloud floating in this sheet of paper. Excuse me, my screen just went crazy. We never know what's going to happen next in these days. If you are a poet, you will clearly see that there is a cloud in this piece of paper. Without a cloud, there will be no rain. Without rain, the trees cannot grow. And without trees, we cannot make paper. The cloud is essential for the paper to exist. If the cloud is not here, the sheet of paper cannot be here either. So we can say that the cloud and the paper inter-are. Interbeing is a word that is not in the dictionary yet, but if we combine the prefix inter with the verb to be, we have a new verb, interbe. If we look into the sheet of paper even more deeply, we can see the sunshine in it. If the sunshine is not there, the forest cannot grow. In fact, nothing can grow. Even we cannot grow without sunshine. And so we know that the sunshine is also in this sheet of paper. The paper and the sunshine inter-are. And if we continue to look, we can see the logger who cut the tree and brought it to the mill to be transformed into paper. And we can see wheat. We know the logger cannot exist without his daily bread, and therefore the wheat that became his bread is also in this sheet of paper. And the logger's father and mother too are in it. When we look in this way, we see that without all of these things, this sheet of paper cannot exist. Looking even more deeply, we can see that we are in it too. This is not difficult to see because when we look at a sheet of paper, the sheet of paper is part of our perception. Your mind is here, and mine is also. Deep breath. Your mind is here and mine is also. So we can say that everything is here within this sheet of paper. You cannot point out one thing that is not here. Time, space, the earth, the rain, the minerals in the soil, the sunshine, the cloud, the river, the heat. Everything coexists with this sheet of paper. That is why I think the word interbe should be in the dictionary. To be is to interbe. You cannot just be by yourself alone. You have to interbe with every other thing. This sheet of paper is because everything else is. So suppose we try to return one of the elements of this piece of paper to its source. Suppose we return the sunshine to the sun. Do you think that this sheet of paper will be possible? No, without sunshine, nothing can be. And if we return the logger to his mother, then we have no sheet of paper either. The fact is that this sheet of paper is made up only of non-paper elements. And if we return these non-paper elements to their sources, then there can be no paper at all. Without non-paper elements like mind, logger, sunshine, and so on, there will be no paper. As thin as the sheet of paper is, it contains everything in the universe in it. Let's try now to have a personal experience of inner being ourselves right now through a guided meditation. So settle into your seat. Arrive here and now in this body, in this seat, in this room. If you're comfortable doing so, gently close your eyes. If you're not uncomfortable with your eyes closed, you can just have a soft gaze, not looking at anything in particular. So now feel the sensations of your feet resting on the floor and your bottom touching the seat. Place your right hand over your heart and your left hand on your abdomen. And as you breathe, notice the rising and falling of the abdomen and the expansion and contraction of the rib cage. Allow your belly to soften and to soften a little more. Just allow the breath to simply and naturally breathe itself and rest with the sensations of breathing. Notice the pleasant sensations of the breath and rest in the pleasantness for a time. Moving inwardly now with your mind's eye, follow the course of air into and through your body. Where does air enter and what does that sensation feel like? How far into the body can you feel the sensation of the air as it enters? So breathing in, where does this air seem to become me or part of myself? And breathing out, where does the air seem to become not me, no longer part of myself? What is the difference between the breath that is mine and the breath that is not mine? So now try to sense or visualize the breath as it passes through your lungs, exchanging incoming oxygen for outgoing carbon dioxide. Sense or visualize these gases circulating through your bloodstream. Is this air me or is it not me? Is this air part of yourself or is it not part of yourself? Sit quietly for a bit with a soft belly, simply being aware of the breath. Now see if you can get a sense of being in a room full of air. Sense the volume of the air in the room you're sitting in and how much space it takes up. Notice how you're sharing the air in this room with everyone else who may be in the room with you. Now sense the volume of air in the entire building you are sitting in. Become aware of how your breath is shared with that of every other breathing creature in this building, including all of the insects that may be here. Recognize how the air inside the building is not separate from the air outside the building, how all air is constantly mixing and moving. Expand your awareness outwardly. See how it is that the air you are breathing is part of the entire atmosphere of the planet Earth. And sense how you are sharing the atmosphere with every breathing being on the planet, including trees, plants, insects, birds. So where is me in this atmosphere? What part of the atmosphere is mine? From this quiet place, bring your mind now to your favorite landscape, the place where you feel most at one with the natural setting of our planet Earth. In your mind's eye, through the capacity of your heart center, now go to this place. What do you see in this place, in your favorite landscape? Listening, what do you hear? What scents can you smell? What do you feel on your skin? Open completely to your experience of this favorite place. Allowing the body to relax completely, the belly to remain soft, and allow even the boundaries of your body to soften as you and your special place become. So hopefully Each of us has gotten a little taste just now of how we interact with the air, with our Earth's atmosphere. And hopefully we also have a glimpse into a knowing that we are not separate from all that lives and all that sustains our lives on this planet. This is the knowledge of the unity that makes us one, the first of the 5 jagged rocks of Unitarian Universalist theology. Just as one of our limbs is not separate from the rest of our bodies, just as the process of our breathing is not separate from our being alive, so what we each call I, me, and myself is not separate from our inner being with this planet we call Earth. We are naturally called to love and care for our body and our life, and we are naturally called to love and care for the Earth and all that lives upon it. By protecting the Earth and caring for others, we protect and care for ourselves. And through our actions, large or small, we become empowered, as well as rewarded for our efforts. Native American author Robin Wall Kimmerer says, "Action on behalf of life transforms. Because the relationship between self and the world is reciprocal, it is not a question of first getting enlightened or saved and then acting. As we work to heal the Earth heals us." Going a little more deeply, Wall Kimmerer writes, "Knowing that you love the Earth changes you, activates you to defend and protect and celebrate. But when you feel that the Earth loves you in return, that feeling transforms the relationship from a one-way street into a sacred bond." I find great hope in these words. What I hear come back. What I hear is that no matter our situation in our lives, no matter how helpless or discouraged or fearful we feel, any compassionate action we can take in response to the crises we find ourselves in will serve us well. It will serve us to not only help ourselves and our Earth, but will also serve to empower us, to heal us. It is a wonderful self-reinforcing relationship between taking compassionate action and find healing for oneself and for our world. I hope we can find a way to say yes to our inner being relationship with our Earth and with all living beings who live upon it. May it be so. Now here are Tad and Emily singing Tad's composition, Cornerstones.
Thank you, Donna, for that beautiful message and meditation. Just a little context for this piece, everyone. I wrote this last week as just as a hymn to tie together our 5 jagged rocks that we're going to be talking about for the next month now. The verse that you'll hear today, the second verse, has to do with our message today. And I'm just going to read the words to you because I know sometimes the screen freezes or they might be a little bit hard to see. They will be in the video. But the words for today are, each of us shares in the other, all the world shares in us too. Though we see boundaries and division, look a little deeper and you'll see they're not true. You're welcome to sing along on all or any of it or none of it if you would like to. So here's Emily singing Cornerstones.
Now we come to the time in today's service for the long-awaited climate ribbon ceremony. Let's see how this will go online. For more information about this ceremony, you can go to theclimateribbon.org. That's theclimateribbon.org and learn a lot more about this. This ceremony is described by its creators and supporters like this. It's a global storytelling project that uses art and public ritual to move us from climate grief to climate action. The power of the project is rooted in a very simple yet profound question. What do you hope to never lose to climate chaos? What do you hope to never lose to climate chaos? That's the original question for this ceremony, but our question today will be different from this one. Today, rather than focusing on our grief about the climate emergency, we're going to focus first on our gratitude for the earth. So this action of knowing our gratitude is actually a precursor to this next. The facing our grief is not the first step. The first step is knowing our gratitude for the earth and just celebrating that. And that gives us strength to be able to face our grief for the world. We'll leave facing our grief for the world, for the climate crises and all the other crises we're facing right now. We'll leave that for another time. This is about gratitude. So if we were doing the ceremony live and in person, it would look a little differently than how we would do it today. How we're going to do it today. Mainly there would be an actual tree to which we would tie actual ribbons. So in just a moment, our technology guy, Deborah Mensch, will explain how we will tie virtual ribbons onto a virtual tree and how we will then be able to share our ribbons with each other. So please listen closely. Here are your instructions. Imagine that you have one actual cotton ribbon, like something like this, an actual cotton ribbon. And you would write on that with an actual pen. And then we would take these ribbons and we'd walk to the front of wherever we are and tie them to a tree. And then we could all go up later and look at each other's ribbons and one at a time and kind of get an idea of what we all care about. So I especially encourage youth and children of all ages to take part in this ceremony, even if a grown-up has to help you. So grown-ups, please help if the children need help. And I also encourage older adults to take part, even if a younger person has to help you, which I find myself in that position a lot.
Well, I apologize, but this will happen in silence. So
That makes up for all the computer trouble I've had all afternoon here, just watching reading everyone's ribbons. And anyway, thank you all so much for sharing in our climate ribbon ceremony. I encourage you now to stay for coffee hour after our service to share your ribbons message and your reflections with other people. So now I invite you to rise in spirit, if not in body, as you are able and willing. And we can take hands virtually like this. This is my idea of how to take hands virtually. And we make a big circle like we always do every Sunday in the hall. And draw the circle wider, as Reverend Letty likes to say. And we'll join together in singing our final hymn, along with Tad and Emily.
Thou below me, I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the stormy sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens and our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Oh, thank you so much for Donna and Chris and Tad and Emily for this powerful reminder of our interbeing and connection to the earth. And now I invite you to please join me as we extinguish our chalice this morning. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Beloveds, for all the ways that we connect, let us be grateful. May we leave each other's presence now, but not the connection that we have, regardless of where we are. May we always remember our interbeing and the unity that makes us one. Blessed be, and amen.